Hey guys, so today I'm going to be telling you my process for dealing with houseplant pests for good. This method has been a godsend for me, honestly, with my little outbreaks I've experienced as the winter rolls in. I don't know what it is about this time of year, but somehow all those little buggies find their way into my plants. Let's get started. First, of course, you need a plant that has become a buggy apartment. So for me, I'm going to be treating my Hoya polyneura, which is a mealybug safe haven for some reason, but not for long. And you'll also need a see-through container that will fit your problem plants. I found these clear totes at my local big box store. They have clear lids as well, which is really nice. And they also have snap-on lids. Well, mine has one snap-on side. I broke the other one off somehow, but it works. To control the bugs themselves, you're gonna need some sort of spray-on treatment. I prefer Captain Jack's. It's just really easy to use, and I know 100% it's going to work on a very wide variety of bugs. I like to buy the concentrate because that small bottle goes a longer way, and then I'll mix it just in my own spray bottle, but you can also buy it pre-mixed if you're not somebody who likes to concoct little things in your bathroom. It's a spinosad, which means it pretty much just overstimulates nervous systems of the bugs in the plants, which as I say that sounds really cruel, but they can't stay on my plants. I'm also okay using this inside because it does have low toxicity to humans and mammals. It can make your eyes red if it gets in your eyes, you probably shouldn't be getting it in your eyes or ingesting it. If you have sensitive skin, it can cause skin redness and a little bit of itchiness, but outside of that, it's not going to cause too many problems. Just to be safe, I do this downstairs where my kids and my pets aren't allowed. Now for the process itself, very first thing, I like to spray off my problem plants in the bathtub just with my pressurized sprayer. I want to give them a strong burst of water to knock off any loose bugs, eggs, larvae. I'll spray the tops and bottoms of the leaves, the top of the substrate, and then also the planter itself. But I also like to add a liquid fertilizer if I'm treating a plant like my Hoya polyneura today that can take nutrients in through the foliage to help them be a little bit healthier through this process, just so they have a little extra nutrients for that extra burst of energy. Yeah, not necessary, you can just use water. And I am going to wait until the foliage dries before moving on to the next step. Now that they're dried, they're gonna go into the bin. It's not like a huge deal or anything, but I do my best to space them out so that foliage isn't lapping each other or some part of one plant isn't blocking a part of another plant, because I wanna be able to really thoroughly spray the plants down, trying to completely coat the tops of the leaves. I also wanna spray down the tops of the soil and also the planters themselves. So I am really dousing these, giving them lots of good sprays to make sure that I'm coating the plants pretty completely. The better you can coat the plants in this step, the more thorough of a job that this process is going to do. Of course. Once they're sprayed, I'm gonna put the lid on and secure it. I'm gonna make sure to leave my plants in here for 3 days, but I really think that waiting a week is even more optimal. Not only is this like Captain Jack's humidity mist really coating all of the live bugs in there with the mist, but when I go to move these plants from the isolation chamber back to Gen Pop, I'm not going to spray them off. And this is really important because as the eggs of the pests we are treating for hatch, their larva is going to start feeding on the plant, which is coated in Captain Jack. They are not going to last long, and that's going to stop the cycle from repeating. So Mayday, mayday, be sure not to spray the plants after. I have a bad habit of waiting a really long time between spraying my plants off when I do treatments like this, but that might be excessive. I do think it's beneficial to at least wait 2 weeks before you clean the Captain Jacks off of the plant. That way we can just be really sure that the process is going to work. It is really important to put this bin somewhere where it's going to stay relatively warm and also get really good light. That warmth and light is going to really help speed up this process and create humidity in the bin to really get that Captain Jack's spread in and all of those little buggies coated. That is just one reason why these bins come in so handy. I can put my plants into an isolated environment, even though the bin itself isn't so isolated. It's in my most plant-filled room. This room has a grow light and a south window, so it's going to get really excellent lighting. At this step, I also decided to add the Syngonium green spot, which is one of my favorite Syngoniums, but It always seems to be a problem plant for me, mealybug wise. It never gets like crazy outbreaks, but for some reason, every once in a while, I just find a few little babies on it. Fortunately, this lives in my bathroom, so there's no other plants in here with it, but I'm just gonna pop this in here. Why not? Let's nip it in the bud while we have this process going anyway. In the following few days, as you check your box, you're gonna start to notice some condensation drops on the outside of the box. That's how you know it's getting humid in there and really attacking those pests at the top of the plant and also down on the substrate as well. Back 1 week later for a little update. So here is the bin we prepared at the beginning of this video. And yeah, I just kind of want to tell you what's going on in here. So I have added a few more plants into here. I added 3 more syngoniums, a red spot tricolor, strawberry ice, and is this a macrophylla? But I'm gonna give these a really good spray down. I need a refill. Now that it's all been sprayed down a second time, I'm just gonna put the lid on and give it another 1 to 2 days before I move these back into their homes. Now I just gotta move them all out of here. Since this bin stays so humid, the plants, when you go to take them out, are most likely going to be like wet or drippy in some spots. So I just like to pull out a boot tray, move the plants right over to the tray so that they can sit in regular household dry ass humidity to dry out and also like be in the sun a little bit since they've been, I don't know, a little bit filtered in the bin from the sunlight. Yeah. And then I'm also just gonna set this bin aside to dry for a little bit. I'll scrub it out later. Actually, I'm going to start a second round through the bins, so. The thing with mealybugs is however you decide you want to treat them, it's important to like really coat them because that white like fluffy looking stuff is protective. It's like kind of waxy and it protects them from things like spray-on treatments. So yeah, gotta coat them really good to make sure any of those big globs of them. So yeah. Now I'm just gonna litter up and follow through the full process, which, as I said, this isn't the greatest method for like large outbreaks because it would be really hard to get every single plant into a clear bin in a short time frame, but definitely for some spot treatment, yes, that is the process. If you had this idea long ago and you've already tried this, I would love to hear. That's going to be it for this one. I will see you next time, next week, maybe Friday. Bye.